Today I'm going to talk all about business and the greater impact analytics has when starting with decision making. It is not anything new, but what will be new and what I will share about today is how we very consciously integrate ourselves with business and where we focus solemnly on the strategic goals that we have as a company, and from that build our capabilities from an analytical point of view. Myself, who's going to share this today, is Giovanni Leoni. I work as a development leader within the analytics team, and I'm a part of IKEA, or the IKEA universe that is called IKEA Group. It's a part of IKEA that focuses specifically around the range and the range development and how we create both new and wonderful products across the world to be sold throughout our IKEA retail outlets. But it's also to see how we create the prerequisites so we do that in a relevant way. What I will cover on today is centered around a story that starts with a conversation I had with a business leader within IKEA. They knew that they could not trust the insights and they could not take decisions on the insights that they received because they knew there was another reality out there. We have very good and active business stakeholders, and they always strive to see what is the reality out there, what are the retailers facing, but specifically, what do our customers need and want? So from their point of view, when they were looking upon data, and I'll come back to specifically what data it was, they realized that it was not matching up with the reality that they were seeing. And here is the key point, that we need to be able to deliver what is relevant for a business user to take a decision. And it starts there. And then we need to work our way around to find it to become relevant. And how we do that is what is in focus for today. So what I will cover briefly is a bit around IKEA, but then going into decision making and an analytical process, and how we try to turn that around to become even more relevant. I'll dig deeper into what we really mean with business partnership, and then allude back to the example of the discussion I had with a business leader in terms of trust around data and the reality there they were striving to see to take good business decisions for better business. And to kind of encompass what IKEA is about, is really about to create a better everyday life for the many people. We're the world's largest home furnishing retailer with actively over 60 countries around the world, with a complete supply chain where we produce all across all continents and see that we can supply it where it comes to people's homes. We are very active to see how we can do that in a long-term perspective, and we see that the best way we can do so is to understand our customers in every single market, and then find ways where we can develop it so it's affordable for as many as possible. The part of IKEA that I belong to and call my home is a core business range, where we develop and determine the IKEA range. And also set the right prerequisites for the total IKEA value chain. So we develop it with the right material, we develop it with the right specifications, and also in a way together with suppliers, so it really is as cost effective as possible. So when it travels along the IKEA value chain, in the end ends up on a shelf in a physical store, or is delivered through our online interface, it is always as cost efficient as possible, so we can make it affordable for the many people. So in the part of core business range, we really strive to see how we can really set up the right prerequisites for it. Where I will center much of my story today, it is really about how we focus upon decision making. Because decision making is something that is done to drive better business and create better business impact. For our sake, better business means better products for our customers, and in turn, we can grow as a company, and we can also become more relevant as a society as a whole. But how we drive those better business is really a key factor here, and how that decision making is in focus. Because if we can support better decision making for better business, we are a key enabler of creating more value for IKEA, but also in turn create more value for our end customers. We don't waste resources along the way, and we always move IKEA towards the right direction, which is for growth and creating a better everyday life for the many people. And the usual process of analytics is that you go through you have data that you are curating in different ways. You accumulate and you curate it. You go through different analytical models and hopefully you can package it in a way that it delivers insights from all that noise. And in that process of bringing it forward to insights, it's so relevant and displayed in such a way that visualization supports decision making. And the decision making then turns the business or leads the business on the right direction. We need to turn that around and see that what is most important is better business. How we can create better business is through drilling down and understanding how and what decisions are to be made. That is a core of the discussion. When understanding that together with business and to see what kind of business decisions needs to be made, then we can talk about what insights are necessary to feed those business decisions. We're not even talking about analytics yet. We're solemnly talking about making good decisions and dreaming of what kind of insights we need. So it's having a very open mindset of seeing whatever it takes to make those good decisions, whatever it takes to steer business towards the right direction, and having that open mindset and dream about, okay, what do we need to have in front of us? And having that dialogue and inspiring our business users to understand, okay, what is it that you would really want to have in front of you to make a good decision? What kind of insight, what kind of foresight would you need to take a decision that is aiming for better business tomorrow rather than seeing a follow-up of what have happened yesterday? Then when having that understanding of what insights that is necessary and in what form one would need that, even if that is supposed to be automated or if we're talking about a decision material, then we come into the realm of analytics, whether that is being simple or more advanced. The key point here is that analytics is not in focus. What is in focus is the business decisions that needs to be made. The analytics and the demands upon analytics and in turn the data that is necessary to deliver that analytics is something that comes from the discussions together with business. And it feeds demands along the value chain backwards towards what kind of analytics do we need to have, and specifically what kind of data do we need to have. So it's always a journey to see how can we gradually improve. How can we move the dial in utilizing more advanced and smarter analytics? And how can we find data that is both relevant and capturing the essence of what is happening out in reality, but it's also that it's curated in a proper way with high quality, that it's managed in a proper way, and also ethically handled throughout the process of acquiring the data, but also handling the data through the analytical process of utilizing algorithms in an ethical way. So going backwards in this process, it makes it quite apparent that we need to make it right from the start. It needs to be right in the business discussions together with our business stakeholders. And here we then come down to, okay, what is business partnership about? It is really encompassing it as a natural way of working. seeing that business partnership between analytics teams and business stakeholders is something that needs to be a natural part of business development. It's not to see the other perspective of it. It's not about being a supplier or just a servant towards business, but actually being a partner in that business discussion. And to make it tangible, what we're talking about here, it is about integrating teams, being fully committed from business side to contribute with insights. Contribute, what does it take to make a good business decision? What is the business reality that we're seeing in front of us? The implicit knowledge that business stakeholders have and business leaders have, and to take them up on the table, to explain to our analytics professionals, what is it that we're not seeing in the data? What is it that we are taking as implicit knowledge when taking decisions? What is it that we're connecting the dots that we could actually feed into an analytical model? It's having that commitment from business, sitting together in development projects, being fully committed throughout the sprints of development, and seeing that we're continuously feeding in reality into the discussion. And also really raising the bar on what we demand to have for kind of insights for making proper decisions. So it's a very active party from a business point of view, and that's part of the business partnership if one would be a business stakeholder. In the same way, from an analytics point of view, you're not only coming to the table stating what you can or cannot do, but actually being inspiring, sharing the possibilities of what you can do with data. Really looking upon the horizon of going beyond what is possible today. When a business stakeholder say that or dream of connecting different perspectives to actually share possibilities of doing so, having an active dialogue of what we can do or cannot do at this given time, creating a relevant backlog of how can we progress this over time, but it's always anchored to the business decision that needs to be made. And it's also to see that sometimes it's not the fancy models or the more advanced analytics that is relevant, but rather seeing what is fit for purpose to deliver value here and now, and what can we do to progress this going forward. So going through this analytical development projects, one sits together as a team and contributing on equal terms, both on inspiring what we can do, both being a reality check of what is realistic here and now, but also really being equally responsible to deliver value. Both value in terms of having as relevant business decision material and their business stakeholders share their view, but also as an analytical partner stating, okay, this is something that we can realistically do here and now. And with the going through those development projects is also to follow through on that. So when we put things into production, we follow through on having a tight collaboration, both with the analytic partners that we have engaged, but also the business partners. So we don't let go. We keep on having the dialogue of, does it work? Does it contribute value? Does this significantly support better business? And to make it even more tangible, I'm going to share a perspective of this, and then to really have a business focus on it that is strategically important. Within IKEA, we aim towards the directions of affordability to make it more affordable for the many people, accessible for the many, so both in terms of store, but also online, and being present on even more markets. And sustainably, so we do it in a way that is good for both people and planet. So these important directions is key strategic directions for IKEA. So along this line, when we focus down on specifically affordability, then we can see that whatever we are moving towards the direction of affordability, that is strategically relevant for IKEA. So we kind of drill down that dimension. Specifically, one of the development projects I was engaged in was connecting to how can we become more affordable in a relevant way in each market. And specifically, how can we develop range that we have at the right price for the right type of function in each market. And here it comes back to that quote I mentioned previously, that we had business leaders stating that we want to make a relevant range at the right price, but we see that we don't have that kind of agility to really move and understand specifically the prices that are relevant for each function. We have a fairly good idea, but we see another reality when we look beyond the numbers into other sources. So what we want to do is having a more dynamic way of understanding the reality out there, because we see it, but we can't see in the numbers that we are receiving right now. And it is really being specific to a business issue here, that to take decisions to at any given time develop range that has a relevant price, and at any given time position it in a way that customers in that specific market also can see that we are making it even more affordable. So it's reaching towards that direction. And the ambition here was in the development project to have an outside-in perspective, to really see how can we capture the competitor prices that are out there, and how can we make a data-driven approach to receive those prices, having an analytical model that designs it in a relevant way and also reflect the reality, because that was the key issue here. How can we support business users to take decisions that they feel trust in, that is reflecting reality, both in terms of acquiring the data that is relevant, but also having an analytical model that supports and enhances and clarifies what do they see in front of them. How can they, for each function we have within IKEA, whether that is a home smart product, to a napkin, to a bed, or a storage unit, understand that for any specific market, whether that is Germany, Poland, or the US, that how are they positioned? And how can we develop a range that is even more relevant in that specific market for that specific function? And the discussions we had in that development project was specifically to see, do we reflect reality? Do we trust what we see in front of us? And can we support decision-making that we move the business towards making more affordable products? And so we came back to that strategic direction, to that specific business reality all throughout the development project. And this is something that I kind of want to sum up today, is that for the future, our focus is to be even more domain focused, to be close to business, integrated in those discussions, following through and being an active partner, and seeing that with the data products that we deliver in form of applications and data sets serve in an impactful way. Because in the end, we are here to develop good business together, whether that we are a business partner, a business leader, or an analytical professional. And going forward, this is an ambition that we want to continue on this journey of developing. So we'll come a bit on the way, but our continuous focus upon business is something that supports us in the continuous progress forward. Thanks for your time, and have a really good day.